That's Taylor and Brandon. This is the couple that got along the greatest. I tried to get his hairstyle. This was the closest I could get to it. And let me go into his traits. This couple was always so happy and giggly. They were both nerds. His name is Austin. Austin was a wonderful couple. Again, he has the soulmate trait with the alluring, even though they weren't alluring, they were just love at first sight, and they were geeks and cheerful and also intelligent. Speedo, he said. And he was paired up with Jessica. I couldn't, like, Jessica's always happy and laughing, and this particular film, I can't get her to be so giggly and bubbly like the real Jessica. So I try to give her the cheerful trait, but I just can't. I can't get her to keep smiling like Jessica does. Jessica wants to have babies and settle down. Jessica's also a geek, just like her soulmate, Austin. And they have got along from day one. They only had trouble with the last 2 days, and they worked that out. So Austin is a wonderful guy. The only trouble they had, if you saw the last day or so, Austin revealed to her that his job doesn't just require for him to travel every once in a while like she thought, maybe once a month. But his job sometimes requires him to be gone for 10 days to 2 weeks. But they worked it out. This next couple, I felt a little sorry for the guy. This is Michael. I couldn't quite get this to look like Michael. Just couldn't get those big eyes and the sadness that his eyes have. But this is his hairstyle and his beard, and he always wore a blue suit. And Michael, of course, has the soulmate. He wanted to get his soulmate and settle down. Eventually have children later. He is quite intelligent, but ambition, he wants to be successful. If you saw the show, poor little Michael was an orphan, and he had a really hard life, and so because of that, he wanted to please everyone. So he was paired up with MEKA. I tried to get her hairstyle, and she puts her hair up like that. And one time she had on yellow. So MEKA, oh my goodness, girl, you were fussing at him every minute. Stop lying. I want you to tell the truth. She would say, you're a liar, you're a liar. I don't know anything about my husband, she says. And she's just going in on him, and the poor guy was just so sad all the time. And then he would try to say even more stuff, and then she'd catch him in it. Another lie and another lie. And finally she talked to his sister and found out why. because of his past. And he even told Pastor Cal in front of MEKA that he broke down and started crying and said, look, I've had a hard childhood and I've had to compensate, and so I try to say that I'm this and that and the other to please everyone. He, I guess, told her that he was a teacher. First, he told Dr. Pepper that he was a yoga teacher. When he got on the show with MEKA, he said he was a teacher of little children. She tried to go there to surprise him and found out that he works there, but he was a janitor. And then he said, well, no, I was a teacher. They got a new administrator in charge. The other person that was my boss was quite nice. They retired or went somewhere else. And my new boss doesn't like me. And I guess they were prejudiced and made him a janitor. So poor guy, he just had such a hard time. He lost like 3 jobs. So I just put ambitious because he does want to be good and a good provider and a good husband. But with MEKA, they had to exchange as part of the rules their income that they get. And when he showed her paper from his so-called boss, she said it wasn't real, it was a fake paper. She said, I'm a mathematician, I know numbers, and these numbers are not adding up. So I gave her the aspiration of Renaissance Sim, and that means she's a quick learner. MEKA's very smart. She's a perfectionist. She wanted everything to be perfect, but she wanted him to be perfect. And she needed to give him more time and stop yelling at him so much. She is very, indeed, ambitious. And yes, later on, she probably wanted children a few years later. So he got tired of being yelled at. So towards the end there, when he tried to please her and take her on a date, why'd you take her on a hayride and then behind some bushes picking some apples, and then she sat on the ding-dong grass with the doggone ants and stuff and bugs flying in and out of her darn afro hair, nitwit. And then you stood up and wouldn't sit down on the darn picnic. Yeah, don't laugh about it. You sat on the picnic. You wouldn't sit down on the picnic blanket with her. You stood up, put on your earphones, start dancing to some music, and eating your little applesauce or whatever that was. Yeah, that's what you did. I know you did it. So, you guys, I wanted MEKA and Michael to stay married.